Well, here I am at Quakralapila Hut, 30 kilometres out of Walpole, about 30 kilometres north of Walpole. 8th day of riding, 9th day of my trip. 1 day unplanned, added an extra rest day in Nanup, just to try to recover a little bit from fatigue, my sore bum, and catch up on some bike maintenance, catch up with some friends. It all lined up. It was not going to be, but it was meant to be. It all lined up, which is great. I thought I'd just talk a little bit about how I feel so far. I do have 3 days more riding, but after 8 days of riding, I just thought I'd share. Now's a good time because I've got this hut to myself and I don't look like an idiot talking into a camera, although everybody does it these days. I'm learning so much on this trip. I don't even know where to begin to talk about this. The bike is amazing. Like, it is an absolute weapon. It is built for this. It is designed for exactly this. It is built for the toughest off-road touring. And it's holding up so well. So I'm stoked with that. The setup is amazing. The way I have it set up is working really well with the cages, the racks, the bags. I'm just loving the handlebars more and more and more and more. Like, I loved them before when I first got the bike, but I'm super loving them now, I think, just because it's a lot of travel. You know, I'm doing an average of around about 100 Ks a day, every day. Yesterday I did 122 kilometers. Today I did about 93. The first handful of days on the trail were difficult. Day one, I pushed too hard. I was just really excited. And there was no need for it. There's no rush. There was no rush. There's plenty of time. I got into the hut at 2:30 p.m. and sat around. There's no need for that. So one thing I've learned is to go slower, but not so slow that you end up riding in the dark or not getting in till really, really late. Just planning really well. So get up at the right time with your plan for the pace that you're going to ride for the day, with a general understanding of the elevation and the distance. Having said that, what can happen is, let's say 100 kilometers and 1,500 meters of elevation on forest roads, double track, compared to the same distance and the same elevation on technical single track, switchbacks, swamps, loose gravel. You could easily add a couple of hours. So despite the distance and the elevation being identical, the conditions, the trail type, etc., and obviously your body and how you feel, play a massive role in when you'll get there or how long it'll take. So, you know, there's always a surprise on the trail. Always, always, always. Switchbacks to climb insanely high mountains. I think I'm learning to love them. I kind of hate them, but I'm learning to love them because I guess they get you to the top of the mountain. But you know, when you start a climb, it's 3 kilometers long, and you're like, oh wow, 3 kilometer climb, and it's actually 3 kilometers of switchbacks, and you've actually traveled, like, you could see, not like 800. You've maybe traveled 800 meters up the mountain, but over 3 kilometers of switchbacks. At least you got up to the mountain. It's interesting. There's often switchbacks not too long before huts. So maybe they're sort of building huts on hills, I don't know. I've learned that if you see a sign that says bridge ahead, and there are hundreds of teeny tiny and large bridges, you know, from small to large bridges on the trail. When you see one of those signs, you're guaranteed a climb, obviously, because a bridge is there for really one main purpose only, and that is to allow you to cross water. And if there's water, you're in a valley. The water is in the bottom of a valley, right? And if you've descended down towards a sign that says bridge ahead, get ready to climb out. Good fun. Maybe me a little bit. So I didn't do a lot of training for this. I did up my amount of cycling because I had 5 weeks of work off before starting the trail. So I tried to cycle, you know, 3 or 4 times a week. Not off-road elevation type stuff really, more actually just a mixture of road bike, mountain bike. I really wasn't sure how I was going to go. After the second day I felt on the trail, I felt actually very sick, and I think it was just a shock. I was quite fatigued. I was struggling to eat food. I wasn't sleeping well, maybe a couple of hours for the first night. Same again, second night. And then on day 3, I did my best to force some food in. And came good with being on the bike and being on the trail and slowly eating more, drinking more. And then, you know, day 3, maybe day 4, you start to notice things like your legs are perfectly fine. You feel strong. Your heart rate just runs super slow, and it's because you're fatigued all the time, like constantly fatigued. You know, my maximum heart rate is 190. On the last couple of rides, I'd be lucky to get it anywhere near 160. You know, I saw yesterday's ride was an average of about 120 or 30 beats per minute, which is insane for me. Normally my average heart rate on any ride is about 160 beats a minute. So I cannot get my heart rate up. I'm fatigued. But my legs feel uber strong. On one day, I had a bit of a sort of twingy feeling in one of my knees, and I thought to myself, oh God, this was 2 days ago. It's like, oh God, is this knee gonna go? But it hasn't, it's fine. I feel very strong. Although always feel a little bit cooked at the end of every day, because it's a long day. You know, yesterday was almost 10 hours in the saddle, probably an hour of pushing, an hour and a half of eating, snacking, and having a rest. It was a 10.5-hour day. What else? My biggest letdown on this trip is my butt. Like, I guess chafing. It's not actually terrible. I have developed a small sore, which I noticed this morning when I got up. And it reminds you that it's there, depending on how you're sitting on the saddle, or you know, sometimes even when you're climbing and you're out of the saddle, or even if you're just walking along. So that's new for me. Not bad on my 8th day of riding, 3 more days left of riding. I'm hoping I'll be able to manage that okay. But you never know. And I've been just slapping the chamois cream in like crazy. I've been through a whole tub, and I'm almost through another tube as well, in an attempt to take care of my butt. I'm cleaning it up when I get to the end of my ride, putting some tea tree oil, just as an antibacterial, disinfectant, whatever it is, to kill any germs. And then I'm putting a bit of pseudo cream on as well. I'm sleeping with that on, just to help soothe the skin and help with any rash. It's working. I've got some Fixo-Mol tape, but I can't get it to work. I think it's because I'm too hairy. I'm so grateful to be out here. This trail is amazing. It's truly spectacular. The scenery changes constantly, and it blows your mind. Like, there's been something pretty much every day where I've just gone, wow. I remember riding past a tree somewhere near Manjimup. I took a photo of it, and I like involuntarily shouted out, "Oh fuck," when I saw this tree. I just blurted it out, no one around. It was before I could even think I had said it, because the tree was huge. It was like 4 meters across at the base. Unbelievable. There's things like that, it's just blow your mind. I've seen snakes. I've seen all kinds of birds. Today I finally got myself a red tail, cockatoo tail, which I've put in on my bike. They're like, I feel like it's good luck. I don't know. I love finding them on the trail, and if I find one, I keep it, and when I get home, I give it to Charlotte so she can add it to her collection. People are extremely generous in country towns or small towns, and in general on the trail. I've had nothing but generous people. But in order to receive generosity, one must be kind and polite. And a little bit of politeness and respect goes a really long way when you're traveling like this. It's worked for me really well with things like using laundries, getting a room upgrade, getting extra free food, getting a whole free bag of coffee from a coffee roastery at Southern Coffee Roasters in Manjimup. That was crazy. That's a story. Be kind. Open up and reveal yourself a little bit. Be a little bit vulnerable to people, and you'll be surprised. This has gone for 12 minutes already. I'm a little bit lonely. I wish I had friends with me. I know that's not always possible, and that's okay. That time will come. That's all good. There's not as many people on the trail down here as I thought there would be. I mean, I've seen them. I've seen people in every town doing the Munda Biddi. In the first night, there was 11 people in the hut. It was busy. And since then the numbers have sort of dwindled a bit. A lot of people that are traveling are doing shorter legs than me, and in hindsight, my plan my schedule or itinerary is a little bit rushed, to be honest. Doing 100k days is an all-day activity. It leaves you little to no time to experience a town, see any sights, and it's a lot of hard work. So in hindsight, I think 14 days could be the right amount of days to do the Munda Biddi. Doesn't matter how fit or fast or strong you are or think you are, or, if you're not out to set fast times, then don't rush it. Don't rush it. I set out to do 11 days. It's going to end up being 12 because I added the rest day in Nanup. A little bit longer next time. 80k days is good, I think. 80 or less. Some people are out here doing 30k's a day, 50. Group of guys I met at the pub in Northcliffe last night were going from Northcliffe to the first hut, which I think is Carter Burnu, which I stopped at for lunch. That's 50k ride. It's a 50k day. I was there at 11 o'clock. I was there at 10:30 actually, now that I think about it. When did I leave town? 6:45. That was pretty quick. And I'm glad I stopped there for lunch because it pissed down rain. So slow down, have fun, enjoy it. 3 more days to go. Tomorrow morning I'm going to get up. I've got 30 kilometres to ride into Walpole. I notice there's unfortunately a giant mountain between me and Walpole that I have to ride over. That's okay. Learning to love them. When I get to Walpole, I'm going to go straight to the visitors centre. See if they'll let me plug in all my electronics to charge. The lady at the Collie Visitors Centre was so kind, you know, the kindness I was talking about earlier, the generosity. She let me charge all my stuff. She said there's a shower if I wanted it. She helped me with directions to the laundromat. So tomorrow I'm hoping for the same. I'm going to go to Walpole Visitors Centre, charge all my stuff, ask if there's a laundry, do all my washing, which I've been trying to do every day, so I've got clean bibs. Nip to the shop. There's really probably not much I need, if anything. I need a dehydrated meal for tomorrow night's dinner. I don't need much else. And then push on through to the next hut. I don't even know which hut it is. Jenung Begabup or something like that. I'm not very good with names of huts. I think it's another 100-kilometre day. I can't remember. Or it might be an 80-something kilometre day. Either way. And then after that day, I'll be riding from that hut into Denmark, where I have some accommodation booked. Staying the night in Denmark, shower, bed, pub feed. And then the next day is my last day on the trail. I'm going to ride from Denmark to Albany, which is 80-something kilometres. I am thinking, or I had this vision that when I popped out on the coast, because I know the trail goes through Greens Pool and Elephant's Rocks, I had this vision of me in my board shorts having a swim down on the beach, but to be honest, the weather has turned quite bad. But we'll see. I have hope. I'm hoping the weather is good and that I can swim in the beach. It'll probably help with my bum. Yeah, plenty more to talk about, but that's a bit of a reflection for right now on my 8th day of riding. A lot of mixed emotions, I suppose. It's not a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. That's not what I should say, because you can come and do it anytime, I suppose. But it's truly world-class and spectacular. And I'm incredibly grateful to be out here. I'm especially grateful for the opportunity that my family has allowed me to take this time. It's not easy being away from family. I miss them very much. I don't know what I'll be like at the end in Albany. Whether I'll be happy, whether I'll be sad, maybe I'll be both. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. All right, that's enough rambling. I'm going to pack all this crap up and probably look at getting into bed shortly. Ciao.